Alright guys, so what we're going to do today is we're going to make a template of this right here, and we're going to trace basically the opening of the plugs so I can transfer that to the firewall so I can make sure that everything sticks out like it should. And I got this nifty little headband here so you can see how well a point of view perspective works out for you guys. So I think this might actually work out pretty good. Got a pretty good view of what I see in front of me, and you guys can get a sense of how long I spend looking for the tool that I just put down. So I got some chipboard, like thin cardboard around here somewhere. Just not sure where I put it. Yeah, there we go. So this is what I originally used to make this guy here. So I'll just transfer this onto here. It's a thicker material, easier to work with, and then I will cut out around where the plugs are, and then I can use that to transfer that opening onto the firewall. So now that I have this basic shape here, I just need to cut out the area where the plugs will be. So I think I'll just start with circle and just cut away more and more until everything is all open. That pretty good. So now that we got the hole for the plugs and the firewall taken care of right here, I went ahead and I got the dash all mocked up on the floor. It gave me room to figure out how to make this bracket here to hold the aim dash. It's a little wobbly. It's not going to be kind of the final version of the bracket, but it got it mounted pretty close to where it's going to be. So it enabled me to get some wiring done. I got the plug right here, so wired up the power and the CAN to the dash. The ground right here is going to ground to the ground stud on the column, and that's everything needed for the power harness. Now I need to run this wire here for the secondary injectors into an open spot on the fuse box. And I also need to run another power wire from another open spot through the harness, come out here, because I found a EGT sensor module that, instead of using 6 inputs on the ECU, it runs by the CAN system. So I need to run a power wire from the fuse box up into here. I already ran the CAN wires for it, and it'll ground into the rain tray itself. So the wires into the rain tray will have the wipers, will have the boost solenoid signal, boost solenoid power, the CAN for the EGT module, and then we'll need a power for that as well. I ordered some stuff from Amazon, so I have a 12-pin connector, bulkhead connector. So these will go up to that connector, which I will mount in a plate right here. And what I'll do is I'll just drill a hole on each corner, put a nut cert in, so that plate will be able to be unbolted and removed. And then this hole, which hindsight says I should have just welded up, but I didn't. I'll just bond a plate in, and there's no need to have it removable, so I just need to fill the hole. I'll probably just use some 1/4-inch ABS plastic that I've got kicking around to do both sides. It's the same stuff I used for this plate here. It's really easy to work with, really easy to shape, and it's nice and sturdy. So let's get this dash pad back off to give me access to run the wires to the fuse box, and that should be the last little bit to button up everything. The first goal is by the end of this month, so before February, I want to have all of this in the car mounted, all of that wiring done, all the wiring from basically the firewall back done. Well, really I should have everything from the firewall back done. Just a couple of the odds and ends to finish up back there, but I don't see why that should be an issue. And then really it's just focusing on the front of the vehicle. Still have to do the front body harness, the engine harness, mounting of the radiator and intercooler, fabricating the plumbing, intake manifold, building the turbo manifold, mounting the wastegates, and getting all that plumbed in. It's going to take a little bit. It's just time consuming to do a nice job. But if I say end of February, have all of that fab work done, then we're into March, and there's really not a lot left to do to be able to fire it up and get her moving. So I think it's a pretty good timeline, and delivery showed up from Amazon. So let's take a look and see what we got. See if we got actually everything I ordered this time. So see if I can't try and film this and open it one-handed. It's probably not going to work. Got some cloth harness tape, just like the factory stuff, so I can wrap the harness under the dash. Way too much work to use the other stuff. 4-port boost solenoid. So I've got all AN fittings in here from the last setup. I chose to not use the one I got because it was wired for the, I had a plug on it for the boost controller that I was using that I'm just gonna sell now, so better to save it for that sale and have it all together and just buy another one. These are not expensive at all. Spring terminals, so I can finish up all the grounds. Locking arrow catches for the rear hatch. Got some black ones because I got a carbon rear hatch. Got a vacuum brake leader so I can easily bleed the brakes and the clutch, which will come in handy when I'm in here by myself late at night trying to get shit done. So now with the new delivery, I should have everything I need to get this dash done. So let's go ahead and see if we can accomplish that. This is a power wire for the secondary injection that needs to be run into the fuse box here. This wire I won't be using, so it needs to be pulled out of the plug here. We'll do that. I need to run another power wire from the fuse block up through and come out down there for the power wire for the EGT module. And if there's anything else I can think of, I do need to sort through this plug. So the only reason why the factory gauges are still going to be utilized is because it is the home for the CAN bus system for the entire car. So I can't just pull the gauge cluster out. I thought about taking it apart and just relocating the motherboard in the dash somewhere, but it's just kind of open to the elements. I don't know of an easy way to enclose it. Maybe in the future down the line I can relocate it over here somewhere by the ECU. That way it's still there, but I can put the AIM dash, sink it back further into the dash for a nice cleaner OEM look. But I need to pull the signal wires for left and right turn signal, hazards if there's a separate one, fuel level. But anyway, those need to go to the input harness on the AIM dash, which is this guy here. So I need to wire those into here so this dash gets the right signal for all that stuff. I'll probably do that once all of this is mounted in the car for the final time. So I've got all the plugs on the dash harness now, and I got the final plug done. I made this plate here to fill the hole in the rain tray, and I got a 12-pin connector here mated to the plate, and I have 4 extra holes so I can add wiring later, and drill some holes in the corner. And to mount it, I put some nut certs in the rain tray to bolt it up, and I'll use some canopy tape, cut it in strips, and mount it to the edges here, so when it bolts up it'll seal.
We about to turn it on. turn it up.